Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to cut right through all that crazy internet hype to build a really concrete mental model of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Seriously, we're stripping away the jargon. Let's just dive right in with a concept that I promise is going to make this whole system finally click into place for you. Imagine a giant, global, shared notebook. But here's the catch. This notebook is copied thousands of times across the planet. When someone writes in it, every single copy updates simultaneously everywhere. Nobody actually owns it, and nobody can secretly flip back and erase a page. That physical limitation, that is literally the foundational concept of how a blockchain operates. It's brilliant in its simplicity. Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to define what a blockchain actually is, explore the trust problem it solves, unpack how crypto consensus really works, look at smart contracts, and then, we will weigh the honest downsides.
All right, section 1, what is a blockchain? Let's understand the core concept.
So normally, your bank balance lives on a private centralized server, right? The bank controls it completely. Well, the blockchain flips that entire model on its head. Instead of one corporate ledger hidden away, imagine thousands of independent computers. We call these nodes, and each one holds an identical public copy of the database. So when a new transaction happens, it's not being added by one central authority. The whole thing is completely decentralized. Now, when transactions happen on this network, they get bundled together into what we call a block. The network of nodes verifies it, and then here's the crucial part. It gets cryptographically chained to the previous block. That mathematical link is basically the security magic of the whole system. If someone tries to go back and alter an old transaction, the math instantly breaks. Every other computer holding a copy sees the error, flags it, and just rejects it. No way around it. Moving right along to section 2, solving the trust problem and why this actually matters. Historically, if you wanted to send money or even just verify an identity, you inherently needed a middleman, a bank, a credit card company, or a government to basically vouch for the truth. Blockchain completely replaces that middleman with math. It literally allows complete strangers across the globe to securely agree on what's true and transfer value without ever needing a central referee to oversee the transaction. It's a real game changer. And this specific desire for a trustless system is exactly what sparked the 2008 creation of Bitcoin by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, to this day, nobody actually knows who Satoshi is, which is kind of wild, right? Yet they managed to create this robust system where your balance isn't verified by some corporate office, but mathematically proven by the network itself. Which brings us to section 3, how crypto actually works. Let's dig into the mechanics of consensus. Think about it. Without a CEO or board of directors making the final call, how does this network actually agree on what's a real transaction and what's a scam? Well, the answer is consensus. It's a programmed set of rules that forces a decentralized network of totally unacquainted computers to agree on a single shared truth. And there are two main ways to actually achieve this consensus. First, you have proof of work. This forces computers to compete against each other to solve incredibly complex math puzzles just to add the next block. It's exactly how Bitcoin runs. But the catch? It consumes massive, massive amounts of computational power. We're talking enough energy to power entire countries sometimes. In direct contrast, you've got proof of stake, which is what Ethereum uses. Here, participants basically put up their own crypto as collateral. It solves the exact same problem of getting strangers to agree on the truth, but with drastically, drastically lower energy use. Okay, let's jump to section 4, smart contracts and beyond. We're broadening the scope here. So the real evolution of all this plumbing is something called a smart contract. Honestly, the best way to think about it is exactly like a digital vending machine. It's just self-executing code stored directly on the blockchain. You put $1 in, you press a button, and the snack drops automatically. Absolutely no human approval is needed anywhere in that process. Smart contracts do this exact same thing, but for digital agreements, instantly executing rules, payouts, or transfers the very second the right conditions are met. And this programmable foundation, it powers entirely new ecosystems. We've got NFTs, which act as unforgeable digital receipts representing unique ownership of art, media, or even in-game items. And then there's DeFi, decentralized finance. DeFi uses those smart contracts we just talked about to run whole lending, borrowing, and trading platforms entirely on autopilot. It literally takes the traditional bank completely out of the equation. But we need to be totally objective here, so here is section 5, the honest downsides. Time for a reality check.
because let's be real, blockchain is absolutely not some flawless miracle tech. First off, because every single node has to check the data, it's inherently slower and more expensive at scale than your regular centralized database. Then we have the massive energy consumption of those proof-of-work systems we mentioned, wildly volatile market prices, and highly evolving, often inconsistent global regulations. Plus, and this is a huge one, with no central authority, there's no 1-800 number to call, no customer support desk to email if you accidentally send your life savings to the wrong digital address. Those mistakes are permanent and irreversible.
So, we've seen how this distributed, unbreakable ledger works, right? And we've seen the incredible innovations it sparked, from trustless money to totally automated finance. But we've also looked at the very real limitations regarding speed, energy, and risk. So, I'll leave you with this. Is this shared digital notebook the ultimate foundation for the future of our global systems? Or is it merely an overhyped experiment destined to remain on the fringes? Well, whichever side you lean toward, understanding the actual mechanics behind it is really the only way to navigate what comes next. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep on learning.